Our next speaker is another trailblazer. Her name is Nellie Ungami. I don't know if I've pronounced that correctly. Yeah, that's Nellie Mugami. Nellie Mugami is the founder and chief executive officer of KMS Digital Career Limited, a UK registered company that helps graduates into IT jobs through training, work experience, and mentoring. She also runs the African Foods Limited, a horticulture and value addition enterprise with farming activities in Malawi, and currently setting up an indoor farm in the UK, and Jabula Foods Limited, which is a Malawian legumes farming company that farms on a leased 550-hectare land somewhere in Malawi. Nellie is a holder of an MBA and MSc with 20 years working experience in the IT industry in Zimbabwe and the UK. A mother of 4 beautiful children, Nellie is also a published author of 2 children's books. During the COVID-19 induced lockdown, Nellie has successfully established a greenhouse farm with fruit, veg, and herbs, which she dries and processes and facilitates for exports into other parts of the world from the long way. So it's a privilege and honor again to introduce Nellie to you as she presents her business perspective. Thank you.
Thank you, Francis. Thank you, everybody who has taken time to listen to me. Yes, Uzegwenela Mangami. Nellie is as a result of people not being able to pronounce my name, which is kind of long. So I'm Uzegwenela Mangami, originally from the southern part of Zimbabwe. And yes, I live in the UK. I have been in the IT industry for, I would say, 4 years in Zimbabwe, and then almost 16 years in the UK. However, that's my profession. I have a passion. I will say why I'm talking about this later. I have a passion, which is agriculture, specifically in Africa. Value addition, specifically in Africa. So I farm in Ghana, I farm in Malawi, and setting up in Zimbabwe. I also work with smallholder farmers, mainly women farmers, to ensure that my supply is consistent and also to empower them through value addition. KMS Digital Careers was born out of the desire and the realization that a lot of people from the diaspora in the here in the United Kingdom specifically were so highly educated with master's degrees, some PhDs, but they were working in security in the building industry. And I knew that I could, because of my experience, I could train, I could mentor, and provide a work experience platform for somebody to move from a security guard, a support worker, a healthcare assistant, a nurse, or somebody who wants to change careers into IT project management, business analysis, cybersecurity, and software development. So that's what I do and what I'm passionate about. I have recently trained people mainly from Nigeria through my church, Love World Ministries. So today I've been asked to talk about entrepreneurship and technology. So I've said how to leverage entrepreneurship and technology to transform your business during and after a pandemic. So that's what I'm going to talk about, practical stuff, because we know that this pandemic is real. It has wreaked havoc globally. Yes, it's torn families, churches, governments apart. However, what I know as Nellie Mangami is that God is eternally on the throne. As a result, we know that all is well and the future is still very bright. Because the future is bright, I'm glad that we are here talking about all these experiences, sharing about globalization, sharing about the businesses that we run so that everybody can be inspired, because the more the merrier. And there is a continent out there that is waiting for its sons and daughters, especially in the diaspora, to come in and build. So is it possible to come out of this pandemic or pandemic better than we were? My answer is emphatically yes. It depends on one's mindset. It depends on one's actions. What actions do you take? If one chooses to cry, everything around them is going to cry. Your business is going to cry. Your children, your refrigerator, your cupboards are going to cry. So it's a choice. If you choose to wake up, dust yourself, look within you and around you, everything will follow suit, because everything that we are is from the mindset that we have. So from today onwards, we are going to choose wisely. In the Bible, I'm sorry, I have to talk about who I am. In the Bible, the word of God says, when men are cast down, we say there's lifting up. So, and also if you look back in the history of the Bible, for example, the children of Israel came out of Egypt, 400 years of slavery, but they were richer than their masters when they came out. Even today, they still are. So a crisis demands boldness. A crisis demands continuous learning. A crisis doesn't demand little groups of gossiping and all that. It demands spending time on YouTube, learning. I'm not a farmer. The last time I saw an agriculture teacher was in 1987 when I was doing agriculture at A level. But because I'm passionate about agriculture, I'm passionate about being a player in agriculture, especially in Africa, where people are now scrambling for African land, scrambling for everything in Africa. And I'm like, where are we? We are not players. What we know from the news is that there's war in Africa, there's hunger in Africa, there's poverty in Africa. Yet, if you board Ethiopian Airlines, 3/4 of Ethiopian Airlines will be people who have got no African background. So where are they going? So where are we in the supply chain, especially with agriculture? Because you can never go wrong. I learned during the crisis that agriculture is the way to go, agriculture and technology. And thank God I am in those two industries. So if we look at the impact of this pandemic on individuals, organizations, I'm not the one who's going to repeat how businesses have been affected. Turnover being drastically reduced, some to zero, especially most SMEs. Some people closing businesses. But was that necessary? For some, it had to happen because they hadn't planned or they didn't think outside the box. The last speaker, last but one, spoke about globalization, a mere realization that the world is no longer a little village, but a global village. Therefore, it means herbs that are grown in Lilongwe can be consumed by somebody in Iceland, but it takes somebody to realize that opportunity. So there's been a massive impact. Even personally, I heard yesterday some people sharing their personal experiences. If we look on the internet, a lot of companies have filed for bankruptcy due to the pandemic. What is it that they could have done differently? What is it that they could have done differently? Even before then, if we look at companies like Blockbuster, I'm not sure where you guys are, if there's Blockbuster, and I know there's Radio Shack. A lot of companies either closed because they didn't develop that ability to adapt to their environment. So yes, we are faced with a pandemic. That's what I call it, a pandemic. What is it that as a business, as an individual, I should do? My answer is yes, you leverage entrepreneurship and your entrepreneurial skills. You leverage technology in order to come out better than what you were. The three of my businesses, I can safely say, I'm better. I'm at a place in terms of turnover, in terms of profits, at the best place compared to where I was before the pandemic, because I knew that, okay, yes, I work in IT, fantastic. I am a contractor. Therefore, who do I associate with in order to make sure that my income doubles? So, for example, yes, I contract with a UK organization, but because I've been working from home, instead of spending time binging on Netflix, YouTube, Nigerian or whatever videos, I decided to take another contract to work for an American company to take advantage of the time differences. So 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., I'm implementing IT projects for a UK company. 4 p.m. to 12 midnight, I'm implementing projects for a UK company. What does that do? It provides me with the capital. I'm putting my comfort on the line. I'm not overworking myself because I make an assessment. I'm not going to be sitting for 16 hours. I plan my meetings with my team such that I have time to relax during the day, even during the night. But there comes a time when we have to step out of our comfort zone in order to come out of pandemics, everything better than who we were or what we were. So we're still on leveraging entrepreneurship and technology. Then if we look at companies that have thrived due to the during the pandemic, I've spoken about my 3 companies. They are companies in the gaming industry. They took advantage of the fact that people are now spending more time at home. So what do we do? One of my clients is a gaming company. So what do we do to make sure that, you know, as bad as it sounds, they play more of a game and they spend more on the game because it's addictive. We know how it is. So both ways, if we look at companies, even as individuals, there are people who have totally given up on life because of the pandemic, not because of their own inability to adapt, but because of this whole pandemic. So there are also people who have looked at, right, I'm spending so much time at home. What do I do with the time? Some people, like I said, have decided, right, let me get Netflix, let me get Amazon Prime, let me get this one, that Nollywood, then I can spend time watching movies. Some people have said, no, I have to come out of this with a business. What is it that I'm passionate about? So now we're talking about leveraging entrepreneurship. Where do you start? Where do you start if you want to get started the same way maybe Tawani started, the same way Nellie started, the same way Graceful started, the same way everybody who is on this platform started? How do you start? It starts with having that positive mindset that I spoke about. Wherever you go, when I'm driving in the village at home, I see opportunities. There is opportunities as far as the sand is concerned, the sand that I drive on. There's opportunity as far as the leaves are concerned. When I sit with a group of village women, we're talking about the local medicines. There are opportunities because the health system has failed in the developed world, and we know what to do. I can boil a few leaves, mix them and all that, drink, and all of a sudden I'm fine. Why can't we bring such solutions over to the developed world? And that helps to build our grassroots. Our mothers, our grandmothers will now have something to do. So having that positive mindset, being bold and always learning. It's not that because I have got an MSc in electronic commerce, I have to think about businesses in electronic commerce. No, what is it that I'm passionate about? I like cleaning. There are a lot of people who like clean houses, but they don't like cleaning. But you are passionate about cleaning, go for it. Passionate about looking after children, go for it. There are people who like having children, making them, but they don't really like, no, that's an extreme. But I'm just stressing the point that it all starts with what are you passionate about? Because it's so it's so amazing doing something that you're passionate about. I always say there is a profession, which for me it's IT. Then there is a passion, which for me is agriculture. But I will retire from my profession. I will not retire from my passion. I will always be until I am Grandma Nellie.
Yes.
So,
Nellie, Nellie, that's very good. Something that you just said right there about you would retire, you know, from IT, but you wouldn't retire from, you know, your passion. Like, I don't think I've ever heard it put that way before, and that's very, very good. And I know we're running short on time, unfortunately, and I wanted to get some few questions in for you as well. But to have that mindset of, you know, not retiring, you know, from your passion, where would you say that you got that from, and how can you encourage some of these future entrepreneurs to kind of know the difference between, you know, your passion and your regular job, and not to give up on that?
Yes. For some, their regular job is their passion. There are people who are in IT and they love IT, they're passionate about it. Still, what I'm saying is, instead of focusing on the career, in that particular career, which you're passionate about, see an opportunity to build a business around it. Like, I'm passionate about project management. I built a business around project management, training other people to get into project management. So it's about looking beyond being employed. So turning your passion to a business, turning your job into a passion and then into a business.
Thank you very much. That was great. Okay, I'm going to hand it over to Francis now to close us out before we bring in our next speakers. Thank you so much, Nellie and Tawani, for sharing with us today.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Right. Thank you so much again, Nellie, for that wonderful presentation. I think the takeaway from Nellie's presentation is one thing, and maybe many, is the fact that people need to take opportunities even in times of a pandemic. And I think I've seen a lot of opportunities come up, even in these most difficult times, which I think we need to sort of harvest. A lot of opportunities tend to arise. In this pandemic, you might be in a very different sphere of work, but then the moment you see an opportunity, regardless of what entrepreneurship you may be in, I think it's better to seize those opportunities and take advantage of those opportunities. And I think this is what Nellie speaks to. So she's in IT, but she said she tends to see different opportunities. It could be in agriculture, it could be in consultancy. And I think this is the spirit which people need to cultivate out there. And I think the same speaks to Tawani as well, when she spoke about her businesses having to evolve. It means that as she evolves, she sees opportunities. She may be in the fashion industry, but within the fashion industry, we've seen that a lot of people have picked up certain opportunities which have arose. Be it the making of face masks. That's an opportunity which has come up, and I've seen a lot of women take advantage of that. And I think it speaks to having that proactive nature of looking at opportunities which arise. I've seen there's a question, I think because of time we may not have to ask, which speaks to the issue of risks. Somebody have this better crazy idea which they want to venture in, but then they are scared of the risks which they tend to face. But I think it's about taking steps. Hit that first step, you may not even see those risks which you saw in the first place. So get that step first, go for it, move with that fit, and then you'll be able to achieve whatever you want to achieve. Thank you again to Tawani and Nellie for those two presentations.